I need real assistance today, and I have even to put online last week lessons that I have prepared, but they are not online yet. Anyway, let's start today to see a little revision on the modals. So here you see some, do you know, of course, the Simpsons, but you must go out of this room immediately. You are obliged to go out. Oh, Lisa, you should go out and see some friends. This is a suggestion. You should. It is better for you. Okay, Bart, you can go out. I give you permission. Okay. So now let's go on to them. How modals are used. Questo non l'ho fatto io, che sia ben chiaro. Perché all modal is used, all modals are used in both slides, and why it is used. Okay. Anyway, modal verbs. Definition, structure, how to use them. Definition. A modal verb is a type of auxiliary verb that is used to indicate modality, that is likelihood, ability, permission, possibility. Okay?
What is likelihood? Likelihood?
Likelihood, similar to, that is a modality that is the same as ability, permission, likelihood. For example, you see here, 2 of my friends can play guitar, ability. This is a way that is commonly used, the modal can in English. We don't use, because we use the verb in Italian, know how. Io so fare. In English, this sentence is usually translated with I can. Okay, so I can cook means io so cucinare. Doesn't mean io posso cucinare. But usually means it's showing ability. Oh, Carla! Good. Hey, voila! Even Carla is arriving. Fantastic. Let's wait for her. Hello!
Hello! Good morning!
Hello, sleepy people like me!
Yes, I was not out
of your mind. You were like me.
Exactly. I was out of my mind, like the Milanese say.
I'm still out of my mind, but I'm trying to recover now. Okay, we are trying to see a bit of revision with the modals.
I'm sorry, Paola, but also today I'm not listening your voice well.
Let me try. What about if I use the headphones? Probably it could be better. What about now?
No, okay. Now I can't see it all.
Wait.
No, nothing.
Okay, let's try in this way. I don't know, because my volume is still quite high.
And also mine. Okay, I'm trying to see if I find my earphone in a minute. Okay.
Yeah, probably it's better if you put them. Okay, so let's go on with next slide. So this is the list of the modal verbs. Can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should, ought to, must. All of them.
Okay, now I'm with you.
I can even hear you very well now.
I'm using the earphones now.
Yeah, with your earphones they work. They do work.
Yes, I'm completely present. physically. Physically
He's
present.
physically present.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So these are the list of the modal verbs. And how do we form them? The subject, the modal verb, and then the main verb without putting anything at all between the modal verb and the main verb, okay? So for the main verb, we use the basic form or infinitive form after the modal verb without anything in between. And then anything is regarding the complement. I must go to sleep. We can drink some water. They should drink some water. You may eat some food. She will do some exercise. It should eat some food. Of course, the meaning are very changeable in this case. A modal verb do not add s or es at the third person singular. So can swim is always he can swim. Okay, just completely different from all the other, but very similar to the way we use the verb to be. That is a story, its story, that is completely separately apart from the other normal, let's call them normal verbs. Okay, they can be simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. But be careful because here is using could, but it could even use can. I can work, or any modal verb. In the continuous, in the perfect continuous, and any other verb is not present, we cannot use can, but just could. Okay? So this is okay, even with can. This is just for could and some other verbs. So this is usually when we are starting to do the can mode, we have to remember that can is valid just for the present time. Okay? Present simple. Any other time you have to change with could or other substitution verb. A modal verb don't have infinitive or in form. For example, sorry, I can't say here canning. Of course you can't. What else? Okay, this is important more than the how to use. Ability, possibility. They can control their own work. They are able to do it. Okay, I can swim, I can cook. Okay, ability. Or impossibility. We can't fix it. It's impossible for us to do something. Asking for permission, that is usual, the one that is much more similar to Italian. So can I bring here? Can I go there? Asking for permission or for request. Can you help me? Okay, this is quite, but the first modality is the most common one with can. Could, the same, but we use for the other tenses. Okay. Sorry, because I don't like this this presentation. It's not mine. I took it from somebody that I know usually is doing very good jobs, but this time I don't like it. But anyway, so that's why I'm not reading it all, and I'm jumping here and around because it's not. This is happening when you're not preparing before and changing everything like I usually do. Could I borrow your dictionary? Asking for permission. That is conditional. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, if you say, can I borrow your dictionary, it's still correct. Could I borrow your dictionary is more polite. Or request.
Could is more polite, more
Yes, it's
for
just more
person that
polite.
I don't know.
Yeah. Could you say it more slowly? Could you say it again more slowly? Please do it, okay? Or can. But of course, using could, it's even more polite. Possibility, I think we could have another T, very easy to understand. In the future, I wish Kandril could meet me next week. Yes, normal. Ability, he gave up his old job so he could work for us. Okay, just because this is made in the past. So in this case, could is just the past of can. It's not a conditional, it's past. It's past simple in this case.
Which is the exact meaning of gave up?
Gave up is lasciar perdere, arrendersi.
Okay.
Actually,
Thank
it's
you.
to give up doing something è interrompere di fare qualcosa, but usually it's not a positive verb. In fact, one of the most common way when you are, for example, depressed, they say don't give up, non mollare, ok?
Okay.
Our
Sì.
mollare, lasciare andare.
Okay, thank you.
It's not used so much with people. I mean, I don't give up you. I give up something. I give up an
situation.
activity. Yes, a situation. Okay. Permission, may I have another cup of coffee? On possibility, I may finish my homework. What you can understand from this kind of presentation, that the use is the same. You use different verbs for the same use, because actually we found permission and possibility even for can and could. And this is true. I mean, you can use them in a different way. The differences are really very, very subtle. And so I think that may is the more common British way of asking for permission. May I go there? May I ask you something? More much than can I ask you something? It's just more direct and more friendly. May is still a step behind.
A little formal.
More formal, yes, much more formal. Can is straight. Might is the same, is very, very similar to may. With better fun tomorrow, they might be eating their dinner now. This is possibility, and even when we suppose something, but we are not sure about it, okay? When we suppose something, so we better phone tomorrow, they might be eating their dinner now. How to say what's right or correct is the one that I told you that you use ought to when you have a moral obligation, okay? She ought to finish by next week. That means that it's better for her if she finished by next week, but actually it's not so much used in this case. I think it's much more used for something that we feel intimate in ourselves that we have to do it. That is much more common for feelings than for jobs.
Could you please see again for a minute the example with might?
Yes.
They might be eating. Okay. That's clear. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately, as I told you, here even the composition is wrong because they have this space, so it's not very good presentation. Sorry for that. Next time I'm going to correct the mistakes
No.
before.
I'd like to be sure that the correct form is might be eating.
Yes, it might be eating
Okay.
by now.
Thank you.
Okay,
I don't understand how to when we use.
if I
How
give
to?
you, I always give an example because I think it's the more clear situation that you can even imagine. I ought to go to visit my grandma more often, but actually I don't find the time to go. That is something that I know it's better for my feelings if I do it, but it's not, there's nobody that is obliging me to do it. It's
È
just
quel dovrei, è quel dovrei che ti fa venire il senso di colpa.
Brava, ecco,
È il
esatto.
dovere, no? È un senso del dovere, no? Che
È il senso del dovere morale.
Di colpa.
Ok, me
E
lo
ognuno
segno
ha il
proprio
suo.
così.
Esatto, è proprio così. Infatti, in americano non lo trovate quasi mai, non è un caso.
Perché hanno una morale loro.
Che non ce l'hanno.
Nell'inglese statunitense è usato pochissimo e nello stesso inglese britannico non moltissimo, perché è un pochino più forbito e perché comunque si rifà proprio di più al sentimento, all'obbligo morale. Ok, shall, anche questo is very British. It's not used in American English anymore and is normally the will form for I and we, and that's it. Okay, and we use shall for offer, suggestion, permissions. Okay, shall I help you with your luggage? Or we can substitute that shall with, can I help you with your luggage? Do you want me to help you with your luggage? There are so many ways of saying the same thing. But shall is just for I and we. Shall we say 2:30 then? Shall I do that or will you? You see, in the last examples, you got both shall and will. Shall for me and will for you.
Will for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's possible to use the will for the first person.
Yes. Will I do that for you? Will we say, but you know, it's just a matter of pronunciation, because if I say, will we, shall we, is easier. Shall I, will I, is much more for, how do you say, that's the word is going out.
It's better to hear it.
Yes, it's better to hear and to say it, of course.
Yeah.
So it's just for a pronunciation more than for grammar. Should. Say what's right or correct. We should solve this problem. We think that is the best way to solve this problem. We should solve. Of course, there's nobody that is obliging us to do it, but we have to solve and we should solve. Similar. We don't say we must, because we must means that if we don't solve the problem, there's a really serious consequence. In this case, we should solve this problem to stay better, maybe. Or possibility, fees should decrease next year. What does it mean? That in this case, I got elements to know that they should decrease next year, because I say fees should decrease next year because I've written on a law.
An article. Yes,
yes,
an article on the
newspaper.
Newspaper.
Yes, I got something that is helping me to make this deduction. Will, of course, will is the future, but the little word will is considered a modal anyway. So decision. I can't see any taxi, so I'll walk. Instant decision. Do you remember when we made the table of the futures with will, we had the instant decision that was will, like here, the first example. Offer. I'll do that if you like. For you, if you like. Offer. I offer my help to you. Or promise. I'll come back on Monday. But this is more connected on the future grammar explanation than on the modals. We don't see the will, like, a real modal. We see much more like a normal form of future. Would. Permission, same. This is much more connected to the conditional, of course. Would you mind if I brought a friend with me? Request. Would you mind waiting a moment? I don't like this sentence. Would you mind waiting for me a moment? Waiting for a moment? I don't like it. No, here it's better with for.
No.
I don't like
Suona
it.
male, eh?
No, mi dispiace, cari miei. Invitation. Would you like to play basketball this Friday? Okay. The thing is that a lot of people, they do not consider the tenses like we are used to study. So when they come onto the modals, they put them all together. And then probably they don't even study the conditional. Why? Because their own language is not structured as Italian is. Italian language is just composed on main verbs and various verbs, like we study at school. So for us to study future, conditional, and so on is quite easy. I mean, we got that drill into our mind since we are at the primary school. We started the primary school to study grammar like this. So for us, it's much better. For example, for Asian people, studying this kind of building sentences, it's very complicated. So sometimes they don't even study the grammar tenses one by one like we do. Future, conditional, and so on. Past simple. They put them all together as with modal verbs. Ok? You get it? E questa è una presentazione fatta per studenti asiatici. Per quella noi.
È un attimo che diventiamo asiatici.
Ma ti dirò che non sarebbe neanche male. Però
Basta allungarci un attimo gli occhi, siamo
vedete,
là.
loro, tutti questi, li raggruppano come modali e li studiano molto più approfonditamente. Diciamo che gli danno una categoria diversa alla fine, no? Li mettono tutti sotto la categoria dei modali e li studiano così. Di solito quando si studia in questo modo non si affronta neanche il conditional come lo affrontiamo noi, che invece ci dà il modo di capire e di esprimerci molto più precisamente. Comunque, detto ciò...
Ma must invece, come definizione...
Non l'ha messo, vedi?
Non l'ha messa?
Non l'ha messo.
Sti cinesi.
No, diciamo che questa presentazione io l'avevo fatta modificata e mi sono sbagliata perché ho preso qui adesso con voi l'originale, che fa sempre parte della giornata del rimbambimento totale, non me ne volete, perché io l'avevo rivista tutta questa presentazione, che è corretta, cioè i dati, al di là di qualche piccolo errore nelle frasi, sono corretti. Però non... a mio parere è una modalità che noi ci fa fatica a memorizzarla, fatta in questo.
Poi più che altro ci si mischiano le idee avendo già interpretato in un modo diverso la stessa cosa.
No, l'importante è che voi capite bene gli esempi in questo caso, no? Se voi capite bene l'esempio, va benissimo, perché io sono del
Sì.
parere che poi sul nostro cammino vediamo tante cose, soprattutto adesso che abbiamo la possibilità di usare internet. Quante cose noi vediamo, ci andiamo a vedere e diciamo, ma io l'avevo imparata in modo diverso. Non è che il vostro modo è sbagliato e quello è corretto necessariamente, no, no. È che l'approccio che si può avere con una lingua come quella inglese, che non è precisa, può essere molto diverso. Il modo che ho io, ad esempio, di spiegare l'inglese, la grammatica, è totalmente diverso da quello che ha, ad esempio, che hanno altre persone, soprattutto in madrelingua. Perché? Perché io parto dal presupposto che la vostra mentalità è italiana. Per cui cerco di farvi capire ovviamente io sono italiana, per cui riesco a mettermi nei panni di un italiano che impara l'inglese, perché ci sono passata. Per cui è estremamente, il mio modo di spiegare la grammatica è finalizzato ed è soprattutto ad uso e consumo di studenti italiani o comunque di studenti che hanno una madrelingua di ceppo latino, francesi, spagnoli. E anche con i polacchi va bene questa modalità, perché anche loro studiano la grammatica, non ci capisco niente, non lo so, però mi hanno detto che va bene, mi hanno detto loro.
Ti
Però io,
crediamo
ad
sulla
esempio,
fiducia.
se dovessi insegnare a studenti asiatici, me ne sono capitati, ma avevano dei livelli più alti, per cui non gli dovevo studiare la grammatica, spiegare la grammatica. Probabilmente è diverso, probabilmente avrei più difficoltà e loro, soprattutto loro, avrebbero più difficoltà a capire le mie spiegazioni, dovrebbero mettersi in una mentalità diversa. Chiudo questo, apro un altro.
Ok.
Poi dalla settimana prossima ho l'abbonamento, per cui non ci saranno più queste aperture e chiusure.
Ah, sì?
Sì. Domani faccio l'abbonamento, mi sono stufata.
Ecco.
Ok, see you in a minute. 1 minute.
Ok.
1 minute.